Here's the uncomfortable truth about high ticket sales. It's 80% psychology and 20% product knowledge. Most people think that it's all to do with how well you know the service or the product that you're trying to sell. But what I have learned through experience is that it is purely down to these three things that I'm going to walk you through right now. Each one of these things will bring you further and further along in your journey to making more and more money through sales. And so the first thing that I want to talk about is status. Most people think if you are in sales, you are a low status person, and nobody buys from someone who is below them. People buy from someone that is above them. They need to feel as though the person that is selling them the product or service has something that they want. And if they don't feel that way, they're not going to buy the thing. So it's all about elevating your status. One of the most rookie mistakes that I ever did when I walked into my first ever few sales calls was I would say, "Thank you so much for taking the time to see me today." Straight away, I've lost frame. Straight away, they feel as though they're in the power seat, that it's their time that is the prize, and you need to do not allow that. Because if they feel as though they're in the driver's seat, they're above you, they're never going to buy from you. And that starts from the second you get on the call. And so what we need to do is elevate your status. So there's a few ways you can do that if you're looking to elevate your status. The first thing that I would do is just set your mind right. Set your mindset right from the start. Know that that person that is on the other end of that call needs your service more than you need their help. It's them that's on the call because they need something that you have. And that's the reframe that you need to have. The swap in your head to go from I am trying to sell this person something to no, this person wants something that I have, and I will see if they are worthy of me explaining more about what it is that we do. And so when you get this right, you are on the track to making sales. The next thing is frame. So frame is super interesting. It's all very psychological, but frame basically is, there's three different frames. So we have the power frame, we have the time frame is another one, and we have the analytical frame. So most people will fall into any of these three will primarily be where people are. So the first one, the power one, which is the most common one, is basically that they're trying to kind of control the conversation, and you need to have full power and kind of authority over the call from the start. If you don't have that, you're never going to make the sale. So do not allow that to go away. So what does that even mean? What does power frame even mean? Essentially, what that means is when you get on the call with someone, they will start to dictate the conversation. They'll start to ask the questions. They'll start to feel as though they're driving the conversation. And that is not where we want to be. If we're the person with the product that they want, we ask the questions, they answer them. And if the answer that they give is not good enough, then we ask more questions. Or we say, no, I'm not interested. You're not the right fit for what we have. And it has to stay that way. You have to remain in control. A lot of the time, if you're dealing with B2B, business owner to business owner, you're going to have a lot of these guys that come on with big egos, and they think they're all of this, and they're making, $1 million plus a month, and there you are making, $2,000 a month or something. And regardless of that fact, you show up to that call and you treat them like they're a brokey. You treat them like, this guy's making absolutely no money, he needs my help, this service that we provide is literally going to change his life, and this man needs to shut up and listen to me, and it needs to stay that way. So the power one is the most common one. You can also get the analytical one. This is where they're coming in and they're asking all sorts of details. They're trying to figure out, the intricacies of the service, and they're trying to get really dialed in on the specifics, which is the frame that we do not want, by the way. We want them in the results or desired outcome frame, always. We want them seeing the result that they're going to get. We want them seeing the desire that they want to achieve, whatever that might be. If that's a weight loss transformation, if that's more money in their bank account, if that's a happier relationship, whatever it is, we want them thinking about that the whole time. We don't want them thinking about how they're going to get there. We don't want them thinking about who's in control of the conversation. And the time one, by the way, is just basically when they come on the call straight away, they might say something like, I've got 15 minutes. Let's see, I've got another meeting in 15 minutes. Can we wrap this up, kind of thing. And that's then basically it's another version of the power. And you want to make sure that when someone says to me, come on the call like, hey, I've got 15 minutes here, so I have another meeting in a bit. Can we make this kind of quick? I'll be like, Yeah, that's no worries. I'm kind of short on time myself, so what might be best is we could do a reschedule so that way it aligns better for both of our times. And so what I've done there is a version of making sure that we are on the same level. You are not any way higher up in the hierarchy than me, and I'm not any way lower than you. And we're going to meet in the middle, and we're going to find a time that suits both of us, and we're both going to come together to find a solution together. And so if they don't see that, they need to reschedule a time with you, because you won't sell them, because they're just going to be too, like, they're trying to take control of the conversation, and if that happens, you've lost the sale. So the third one, the big one. So final one for you. Problem. What does that mean? So most people, when they come on calls with you, the problem that they see is small. It's really tiny. They don't see a problem. They just see that they're, that they've got to lose a little bit of weight. It's not that big a deal. I'm just here to find out a little bit more information. Or, yeah, it's not that big a deal. My relationship is in the stinker. My wife is about to divorce me, but I'm not that concerned about it. It's not that big a deal. And what we need to do when they say this, because they will, is we need to make the problem 10 times bigger. We need to make it 10 times bigger, and 10 times, we need to make them so aware of what the hell is going on that they're like, what the frick, how did I not see? Like, they see it because they're on the call and they know it's a problem, but they pretend to tiptoe around it, and they say stuff like, it's kind of an issue, yeah, I'm just trying to find out more information, blah blah blah. No, you're here because you have a real problem, and I'm going to make that problem so big that you cannot avoid it. One of my favorite questions to ask someone is, when they tell you the problem, whatever it is, whatever the reason is for their being there, the business isn't growing enough, they're in a bad relationship, they're very overweight, whatever it might be, you're like, well, how's that affecting you? Okay, and can you tell me a little bit more about that? Expand the problem and make it bigger in their head. It's all about what they think, it's not about what you think. And when you get this right, you're going to have someone who sees a massive problem and then they see you as the solution. And so that is kind of my sales stats and psychology for the day. Hope it was useful. If it was, subscribe, like, and see you in the next one.